Every 24 minutes in the United States, a family hears words that no one is ever prepared for.
And today, coming together in this room,
we have the power to change that story.
Hi, I'm Erica Bailey, and my son Bear's life was saved by Count the Kicks. I've served as an ambassador since 2021.
Hi, I'm Amanda Braverman-Brown, and my child Preston's life was saved in 2008 when I spoke up about a change in his movements. I've been volunteering ever since.
And hi, I'm Emily Price. My son Hayden's life was saved 15 years ago by Count the Kicks in 2010. I'm also the CEO of Healthy Birthday, Inc., the life-changing organization that we're here, all of us, supporting today. Welcome to Changemakers, presented by our incredible partners at University of Iowa Healthcare.
The effect Count the Kicks has had on our families will impact us for generations. Our babies turned into boys, and they're growing into young men.
Perhaps one day they'll become parents themselves, maybe even grandparents. It's like an entire branch of our family trees were saved by one simple program.
Since the work of Healthy Birthday began, we've collected more than 170 Count the Kicks baby save stories from families in 38 states and 9 countries so far. We just learned of babies saved in Australia and Canada. This is the impact of a room full of change makers.
More than 50 of those beautiful babies that you see on the screen are from right here in Iowa. It's where we started, and it is where we continue to have the greatest impact. If you are brand new to our work, welcome. Our stories help illustrate how paying attention to a baby's movements in the 3rd trimester of pregnancy can save lives. A change in a baby's movements can be an urgent warning sign.
On January 25th, 2021, I was 36 weeks pregnant with my second son, Bear. I woke up and noticed he wasn't moving like he normally would. I had been using the Count the Kicks app religiously, so I was very in tune with my son's movements. I tragically did not know the importance of monitoring my baby's movements during my first pregnancy, and my first son, Roan, was stillborn at 39 weeks on March 5th, 2020. Looking back, I know my son was slowing down in his last weeks, but I had naively believed the myths on the internet and in many Facebook mom groups that babies slow down before labor begins and babies run out of room in the 3rd trimester, both of which are not true. Burying my child should not be the gateway to learning this life-saving information. I was vigilant in my pregnancy with Bear. At 36 weeks, when I noticed a change in his movements, I spoke up and told my doctor. While I was being monitored at the hospital for his concerning change in movements, his heart rate would decelerate and not recover during my contractions. I was growing more and more concerned because the alarms going off outside of me were confirming what I already knew. Something was not right. My baby was not acting normal. After frequent tests and monitoring over the next day, my doctor made the informed decision to deliver him early, and my second son, Bear Odin, was born alive, healthy, and screaming. I am so grateful for Count the Kicks and its mission to educate expectant parents on the importance of monitoring their baby's movements and providing a free, easy-to-use app to do so. I have no doubt that having providers who listened to me and acted when I alerted them that my baby had slowed down saved his life.
The birth story of my child Preston has had a profound impact on our lives. After 4 weeks of preterm labor, I noticed a decrease in movement and drove straight to labor and delivery. My doctor had told me to pay attention to movement and to speak up if I noticed a change. Luckily, when I showed up to the hospital, the providers really listened to me, and they did everything right in order for my baby to arrive safely. All parents should be empowered with the knowledge necessary to pay attention to movement and prevent close calls like ours. No one should just get lucky. Healthy Birthday is an organization that uses evidence-based information to save lives. Its education is accessible and understandable. and it needs to be in the hands of expectant parents everywhere. I would love for us to take a moment to celebrate and honor all of the incredible doctors, midwives, nurses, and frontline staff here in this room today who educate on Count the Kicks and take expectant parents seriously when they have a concern. You are saving lives. How about a round of applause for the doctor who delivered Preston, who's here today, and many others.
We know that great providers are absolutely key to this work, and it is an honor to work every single day in honor of Bear and Roan and Preston. It is my strong belief that every family deserves a healthy birth outcome. I share that belief with all of you, and that keeps a fire lit within me every single day in this work. My family's story began 15 years ago when I was 30 weeks along in my first pregnancy. I knew about the importance of paying attention to my son's movements thanks to meeting the founders of Healthy Birthday as they were just launching this organization the year before our pregnancy. In 2010, I spoke up to my doctor when I noticed a change in my son's movements, and she took me very seriously. She sent me for tests, which indicated that I was in very active early preterm labor at 30 weeks. At the hospital, they gave me a steroid shot, and they said this is for your son's lungs, so that if he is born this weekend, he would, quote, have a better chance of survival. That's when my husband and I knew just how serious it was. I spent 4 long days in the hospital, and then they sent me home on bed rest, very strict bed rest for the rest of our pregnancy. They gave me a daily pill called Procardia to help stop my contractions and told me I could only leave the house for doctor's visits. It all worked. Hayden was born in the first day of the 40th week of our pregnancy, completely healthy and not a minute in the NICU. It is the exact kind of outcome that you are all making possible today for families.
You should know there were other team members in the room when our sons were saved, and that was all of you. Count the Kicks and the awareness of it for expectant parents is fueled only by generous donors and funders who make it possible.
It's what we like to call the Count the Kicks method. It's the chain of events that happens when one person, family, or organization funds our work and the massive return on investment that comes next. Check it out.
For expectant parents, every movement is a moment of reassurance, a small reminder that their baby is safe and growing. But sometimes a change in movements can be the first sign that something is wrong. Countless babies are alive today because their parents noticed that change and spoke up, thanks to the education, resources, and care made possible by Count the Kicks. Because when you give, your support sparks a life-changing ripple effect. Here are just a few of the ways we make your dollar count. 1. Providers receive clear training and resources that help them discuss the importance of tracking babies' movements with expectant parents. 2. Care teams use our resources to teach parents what's normal for their growing baby and when it's time to get checked out. 3. Families access our app for free in multiple languages, helping parents everywhere protect the babies they're waiting to meet. 4. Life-saving awareness campaigns reach parents where they are to share one meaningful message to parents: pay attention to your baby's movements. Because when they do, another baby comes home, and another, and another. Wherever we are, we've joined communities reducing the rate of stillbirth and saved moms' lives too. Proving to families that every movement matters, and to donors that every dollar counts. Donate today and help countless more babies come home to their families.
With the donation that you make today,
For expectant parents,
It's the voice that just haunts us.
with the donation that you will be making today, you will be having a significant impact on the lives of expectant parents and their babies. As people who live the real life impact of you, we say thank you.
Of course, that was a video that was playing. We'll send it to you in your email and follow-up so that you can see the visuals that went along with it. It's really important to note as we stand here today that any donations made by Iowans stay right here in Iowa to help serve Iowa families. While we do help contribute to saving lives in other states and in other countries, that work is funded by partners in those communities. Thank you, Erica and Amanda, so much for sharing your stories and your advocacy. We are so grateful that you're here supporting this work and sharing your stories with all of us today. Thank you. In a little bit, Erica and Amanda will be back on stage with a record 20 Count the Kicks Baby Safe families who say Count the Kicks helped get their baby here safely. Their stories illustrate what is right with healthcare, how lives can be saved when moms are empowered, when doctors pay attention to red flags and the right chain of events happens. A strong partner in our work to improve birth outcomes for moms and babies in Iowa is this year's presenting sponsor, University of Iowa Healthcare. Dr. Denise Jamison is University of Iowa's Vice President for Medical Affairs and Dean of the U of I Carver College of Medicine. She is here now to share more on what she's seeing on the front lines. Dr. Jamison? Thank you.
Good morning. It's a real pleasure to be with you here today. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to thank you for the outpouring of support our campus and community have received following the tragic events in Iowa City this weekend. That response reflects the culture of care that defines our state, showing up for one another in moments of need. So thank you. Today, it's a privilege to spend time with a community so focused on improving outcomes for mothers and babies. This event reflects something important. Improving birth outcomes takes many voices: families, clinicians, community leaders, policymakers, and partners, all working towards shared goals. Although I now serve as Vice President for Medical Affairs and Dean, I'm an obstetrician. And like many of you, I've seen firsthand how difficult it can be for families to access maternity care when and where they need it. Across Iowa, that access is increasingly difficult. Communities are facing fewer obstetric services, longer travel times, and fewer options for women with high-risk pregnancies. These challenges don't stop at county lines or health system boundaries, and our solutions can't either. As a state institution, University of Iowa Healthcare has a responsibility to serve all 3.2 million Iowans. We take that responsibility seriously. We advance research, we educate and train the workforce our state depends on, and we support clinical care. And I want to be clear, supporting clinical care doesn't mean providing every service in every location. It means partnering with hospitals, health systems, and clinicians across Iowa to support coordinated, evidence-based care. No one organization can do this alone. Together, we need to build a more connected, statewide approach to maternal and infant health, so families can get care close to home with coordinated pathways when higher-level care is needed. Education and training are central to this work. A strong maternal health system depends on a strong workforce. OBGYNs, family physicians, midwives, nurses, and care teams, we need them all. We need them to meet the needs of Iowa. And this work is urgent. Iowa ranks near the bottom nationally in the availability of maternal health providers. Workforce shortages affect access, safety, and outcomes, especially in rural communities, and they require coordinated statewide solutions. Progress in maternal and infant health doesn't come from any single institution. It comes from alignment across communities, across health systems, across sectors. So I'll leave you with this. If we get this right, it won't be because of any one program or any one institution. It will be because we chose to work together, act across communities, across systems, and across the state. And ultimately, that's what matters most, that every mother and every baby in Iowa has the care they need when and where they need it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Jameson. We are so grateful for all the work that University of Iowa Healthcare is doing to improve outcomes for Iowa families and to create more access to your services. Today, you will see the full humanity of our work, the extreme highs, the devastating lows, and the critical change that is happening to improve outcomes for moms and babies in Iowa and across the country, thanks to Changemakers like all of you. Changemakers just don't sit around waiting for progress to happen and lives to be saved. You act, you make a difference, and you lead. A longtime supporter and changemaker in our work is Gina Cunningham, partner and COO of McGill-Jungie Wealth Management. She is our 2026 Changemakers Chairwoman. Please welcome Gina to the stage.
Thank you, Emily. There's something about the mission of Healthy Birthday that resonates with everyone in this room. We are all connected by a shared goal to create a real impact and a lasting difference together. Each of you brings awareness, supports prevention, and are champions for a cause that directly impacts lives, that can truly save lives. And that's what it means to be a change maker.
We are really grateful as we look out into this really full room of changemakers, including Healthy Birthday's Board of Directors, Count the Kicks ambassadors, parents of Iowa champions, our founders and their families are all here, and our hardworking, and passionate staff who work every day to keep our mission moving forward. We are thankful to see the faces of respected healthcare clinicians, Count the Kicks clinical and community champions who are here, lawmakers, table captains, fellow stillbirth prevention advocates, leaders from all of Iowa's health systems, and our donors and corporate sponsors who save lives with us every day. We just got an email last night from a new family saying,
Awesome.
My baby arrived safely thanks to your free app. Most importantly, you're going to see the faces of children who are here today because of all of you and your support.
The team at McGill-Jungie Wealth Management and I have been committed to Changemakers since 2022, when we first learned about this incredible organization. Please raise your hand if you're also a returning changemaker.
And raise your hand if it's your first time. Welcome, first-timers. Awesome, I see some too, that's great. Whether you come every single year or if this is your first Changemakers, you can leave here today with the certainty that you have impacted the lives of those around you.
I was called to action in honor of our son Declan, who was born still in 2014. He should be finishing 5th grade this year and playing baseball this summer and dancing at his sister's wedding next summer. When we lost Declan, we weren't even aware stillbirth still happened in the modern age. We know that the need in our communities and across the country for stillbirth awareness and education continues to be great. Every year in Iowa, approximately 160 families have to say goodbye to their babies before they say hello. And across the US, more than 20,000 babies are stillborn every year, still today. We must spread Count the Kicks as far and wide as we can share it, so that we can keep pushing progress, keep saving lives, and our goal today is to raise $320,000 through this event. Right now, we are around $100,000 shy of our goal, and I have committed to raising $30,000 toward the mission of Healthy Birthday and Count the Kicks this year myself as chairperson.
$30,000 is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Gina, for the impact that is having on our mission. What a legacy. Declan is in our work every single day. A huge thank you to all of Gina's supporters who are here. You filled quite a few tables.
Yes, thank you.
We are so grateful to you for supporting our work and for supporting Gina's campaign and for saving lives with us. As we strive to reach our fundraising goal, we want to sincerely thank each and every one of you who is contributing to this success. We will continue thanking donors on the big screen as you see up there throughout the event. Your gift matters, your generosity saves lives, and this is a celebration of you.
Now on to the celebration, right?
Yeah.
The next 80 minutes will no doubt be very meaningful, and you're going to learn a lot, but it's also going to be a ton of fun. Did you see those chocolate bars from Joseph's Jewelers? If you purchased one, please don't unwrap them yet. We'll open them together after lunch at a designated time.
And I understand there are some more of those still out there,
Excellent.
so help yourself during the lunch break. Don't forget the mobile auction as well, right outside the doors. The tables are filled with all of our really cool auction items. So it will be open until 9 o'clock tonight. So you have until 9 o'clock tonight to make a bid. It's all mobile and very easy to access, so take some time to check out the prizes. We have Ed Sheeran floor tickets. Did you know he's going to be in Minneapolis in August? We have a trip to Charleston in Chicago. We have a signed George Kittle jersey. We have Count the Kicks cleats that were worn in the NFL by Viking center Ryan Kelly, who also happens to be a Count the Kicks Baby Save dad. Those are there in the auction as well, and you're going to hear from him in just a little bit as well.
And you don't have to be in Des Moines to bid on the mobile auction. To those of you watching from home or work right now, we have great packages for you too. And if you missed the chance to buy a chocolate bar from Joseph Stuhler's, there's still the raffle for the trip to Glacier. There is a table at the back of this room, or there's QR codes on the table for those raffle tickets.
All right, we're going to step away now so you can enjoy lunch with your table and your friends for about the next 20 minutes or so. For those of you online, you're going to see the same slideshow we have here in the ballroom and hear some light music. So we will return at noon with a very impactful program. We'll see you in about 20 minutes.
For expectant parents, every movement is a moment of reassurance, a small reminder that their baby is safe and growing. But sometimes a change in movements can be the first sign that something is wrong. Countless babies are alive today because their parents noticed that change and spoke up, thanks to the education, resources, and care made possible by Count the Kicks. Because when you give, your support sparks a life-changing ripple effect. Here are just a few of the ways we make your dollar count. 1. Providers receive clear training and resources that help them discuss the importance of tracking babies' movements with expectant parents. 2. Care teams use our resources to teach parents what's normal for their growing baby and when it's time to get checked out. 3. Families access our app for free in multiple languages, helping parents everywhere protect the babies they're waiting to meet. 4. Life-saving awareness campaigns reach parents where they are to share one meaningful message to parents: pay attention to your baby's movements. Because when they do, another baby comes home, and another, and another. Wherever we are, we've joined communities reducing the rate of stillbirth and saved moms' lives too. Proving to families that every movement matters, and to donors that every dollar counts. Donate today and help countless more babies come home to their families.
Hi, Changemakers. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Anna from Count the Kicks. It's wonderful to have you with us today.
I want to take a moment to introduce you to something very special that has been built with evidence and care.
Hi there, I'm Anna, your AI assistant from Count the Kicks. I'm here to support you with research-based information about your baby's movement. How's your baby been moving today? Noticed any patterns or changes?
Hi, Anna. I'm a little concerned. I haven't felt my baby move as much in the last 12 hours. Something is really off. What should I do?
If you feel like your baby's movement is different than normal or off, go into your nearest birthing center to get checked out.
Through research, we understand that I have become the nudge that some moms need to seek critical pregnancy care at just the right time. Today, we average more than 36,000 new Count the Kicks app users every single month. Check out where people are counting from at any given moment. The app is free for all moms and available in 24 languages. We're consistently ranked in the top 100 medical apps in the iOS App Store, a free app that saves lives. To date, we've heard from more than 170 families from 38 states and 9 countries saying, "Thank you for saving my baby's life."
Hi.
Ask Anna helps us inform groundbreaking research that could save even more lives. Hi, I'm Dr. Donna Centillion. I'm a women's health researcher at the University of Iowa.
And I'm Dr. Mark Centillion, a practicing high-risk obstetrician, maternal fetal medicine subspecialist, and pregnancy researcher at the University of Iowa Healthcare System.
Ask Anna gives us direct insight into the questions expectant parents want answers to. We are learning directly from these parents about what they don't know about pregnancy, and most importantly, what questions they have about their baby's movements.
And we've also had providers, including maternal fetal medicine subspecialists, to review and vet the Ask Anna tool, ensuring accuracy and solid answers to their questions.
The Centillions are known around the world for their preeclampsia research. Preeclampsia is a condition where blood pressure in pregnant women can reach stroke levels. We are grateful that they are also using their expertise on our Count the Kicks research and our work as well. Together, they're using Count the Kicks de-identified data within our app to help identify patterns and risk factors in pregnancy that may otherwise go unnoticed.
We've partnered with Healthy Birthday on a variety of research projects aimed at adding to the evidence base on fetal movement monitoring, an area of maternal health research that is severely lacking in this country. We are most specifically studying whether AI can accurately predict and warn providers when something is off. A change in a baby's movements during the 3rd trimester can be what the CDC calls an urgent maternal warning sign.
It's just like we're told as adults that a droopy face might be a sign of a stroke or chest pains might be a sign of a heart attack. A change in a baby's movements is that early warning sign that something might be going wrong in pregnancy. Count the Kicks is that early warning system for moms, letting them know the importance of speaking up if they have a concern and to tell their doctor.
And there could be things developing in utero that put both mom and baby's life in danger, like a placental abruption, which is a placental disorder that can cause maternal fetal hemorrhage, or preeclampsia, a dangerous high blood pressure disorder in pregnancy. And the very first early warning sign could be that baby's movements have changed. Our preliminary work with Healthy Birthday, evaluating pregnancies being seen at the University of Iowa, has revealed some really interesting results. Now, not surprisingly, women seen at UIHC for decreased fetal movement are at 1.5 times higher risk of developing a poor baby outcome, like a NICU admission. But what's new and interesting is that women seen at UIHC for decreased fetal movement are also at a 2.5 times higher chance of developing preeclampsia. And often these visits occur before any signs of preeclampsia arise. Now, while we are still studying these findings suggest that maybe decreased fetal movement can tell us a lot more about pregnancy than just how the baby is doing. Being able to intervene when appropriate and medically necessary, and at the earliest possible moment, is key. Our research involving Ask Anna and these decreased fetal movement studies continues the work of Count the Kicks in the future, propelling the University of Iowa's and Healthy Birthday's joint mission forward to save the lives of not just babies, but moms too.
And here's why this is so important. According to the CDC, every single day in the U.S., 2 moms die to pregnancy complications. Today, U.S. maternal mortality rate continues to be by far the highest of any first world nation. Based on a 5-year average, Iowa loses approximately 7 moms every single year during birth or within the immediate postpartum period known as the 4th trimester. In the past, there had been suggestion that fetal activity monitoring caused too much anxiety for women while pregnant and shouldn't be used. But from our research, we have found that fetal activity monitoring actually decreases maternal anxiety and helps moms feel more bonded to their baby. Most importantly, we are finding that women who report decreased fetal movement are at a higher risk of maternal complications in pregnancy, such as preeclampsia.
This year, our life-saving organization unveiled a new storytelling initiative of Mom Saves. You've heard of Count the Kicks Baby Saves, and more we're hearing from moms who say the program helped save their life too. Take a look at the screen. 14 women who all reached out to Healthy Birthday to say if it hadn't been for Count the Kicks, they would have died during or shortly after the birth of their baby.
For these 14 women, it worked.
One app, 2 lives.
We are deeply grateful to the University of Iowa and to the Santillians, and we look forward to sharing insights of your research with everyone in the coming months and years. I know this room will be watching. How about a round of applause for the Santillians? Thank you. If you look around the room, you see many families who have been impacted by stillbirth, the very tragedy we are trying to prevent today, and it still happens 60 times every single day in the US. These families are remembering their babies by wearing white ribbons on their clothes. Some of the babies we are honoring today, their names have been added to the cherry blossom tree outside this ballroom and to our online memorial as well. Let's take a moment of silence to recognize the babies we've lost and to honor them and their families today. Thank you. Mary Kate Kelly is one of several babies that we're honoring today. She is the daughter of Emma and Ryan Kelly, and 2 champions in the fight to prevent stillbirth here in the US with us. Emma is in her 4th year as a Healthy Birthday Inc. board member, and Ryan is a champion athlete with a long and respected NFL career as a leader within the Indianapolis Colts and the Minnesota Vikings. It is now my honor to introduce you to their story.
Hi, it's Emma Kelly. I am a board member for Count the Kicks, and I'm here to tell you my own personal story about needing to use the app myself. So I was 26 weeks pregnant with my boys, Duke and Ford. Around 26 and 2, I had just started using the app. I was what was considered high risk after our daughter was stillborn in 2021. I noticed that twin A, he had stopped moving. We decided to rush into the hospital, and they monitored us for about 3 or 4 hours. Everything seemed to sound okay, look okay, and twin A's started kicking again. So they released us. A couple days later, it happened again. So I woke up, I wasn't feeling him. He was barely active at all. My husband and I, again, rushed into the hospital. After monitoring our baby's vitals, we knew that something wasn't right. And we learned that I had an infection that had spread to my twin and was in his bloodstream, and that had kicked off preterm labor. And so that labor was what was occurring 48 hours prior. Our boys came at 27 weeks. I cannot stress to you enough how important it was to pay attention and count my baby's movements. Again, we say 26 weeks if you're high risk, 28 if you're not, but for me, I could feel and establish even a little bit before that, and so it is so important to pay attention. If there's any sort of inkling that something's off, you need to go in. Hi, it's
Ladies and gentlemen, Duke, Ford, Emma, and Ryan Kelly.
Right here next to Mommy. Yeah, we're gonna talk. Do you want to say hello to everyone here? Do you want to say who you are? What's your name? Yep.
Tell me your name.
I'm Duke.
You're Duke.
40, what's your name?
What's your name?
Fuck!
Ford.
We're working on that last part.
I'm on foot
Okay. Hi, you guys. We're so excited to stand up. Hey, do you mind if Mommy talks right now? We're so excited to stand up here today with our sons, Ford and Duke. The boys are going to be they're 2, they're about to be 3 at the end of June here. But would you guys believe, looking at them, that these are our 2-pound babies that were born at 27 weeks? I was an entire trimester early with them. Thank you. And it's because of our work with Count the Kicks that I knew something was off and I knew to go in, and they're here today because of it.
The parents credit Count the Kicks for their baby's safe arrival. It's why our family believes so deeply in this work.
Would you believe that the very first Count the Kicks baby save that we ever heard of is about to graduate high school next week? Or next month?
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Danny McCune. Over here.
Hi, I'm Danny, and I am an actor at Siouxland Christian. We're going to perform Hadestown Teen Edition on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And my mom was one of the first pregnant patients to ever hear about Count the Kicks. This was in 2007, before the program was well known across the globe. She heard a radio PSA, and her doctor gave her a bright yellow brochure. Count the Kicks helped guarantee all that I experienced in the past allowed me to be here in the present. And because of it, I have a future. I'm excited to introduce you now to some of my friends. Our stories may be slightly different, but the common thread among us is Count the Kicks.
I was born in 2008. I'm 18 years old. Something I'm looking forward to is I'm going to University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee to study music.
My name is Hayden. I was saved in 2010, and I'm looking forward to this baseball season.
My name is Will. I was saved in 2011, and I'm looking forward to golf season.
My name is Kaysen. I was saved in 2015, and I'm looking forward to the football season.
Hello. Hello, my name is Claire.
Claire was saved in 2019.
And what I'm looking for this softball.
My name is Ruby, and I was saved in 2017, and I'm looking forward to summer.
My name is Jude.
Jude was born in 2019, and he's looking forward to baseball this summer.
My name is Skylar Bliss. Mine is 2019, and I'm mostly excited for first grade.
My name is Caden, and I was born in 2018, and I'm looking forward to summer.
This is Nala. Count the Kicks saved her in 2018, and unfortunately she did pass away last month on the 4th, and she was a warrior.
Sonara,
And she was saved in 2022.
and I from have fun at school.
This is
Belle, and I was saved in 2022. 21.
What are you looking forward to?
Reading all the Magic Treehouse books.
This is Jameson. He was saved in 2025, and he's looking forward to being able to keep up with his two big brothers.
This is
River,
and he's looking forward to
kindergarten.
This is
Bubba!
Brody. We call him Bro. He was saved in 2023.
Bubba!
He's looking forward to
Bubba!
summertime. This is Lucy. She was saved in 2021, and she's looking forward to
My birthday.
This is Margot. Margot was saved by Count the Kicks and my daughter Junie in 2021, and she is also looking forward to keeping up with her two big brothers this summer.
For anyone who's attended before, you probably noticed that we had to get a bigger stage this year. So I believe that is absolutely in need of a standing ovation. So if anybody would stand up and please applaud the work that's been done so far and all the families up here. A record 20 people on stage. These families are exactly why we're here today. What you see here is living proof of the power of a simple, life-saving, and easy-to-understand program. They're living proof of how you save lives. Will you keep the momentum going by helping us save more? Today, Emma and I are honored to present a $10,000 matching gift for anyone who donates right now. We're matching all gifts up to $10,000 because that's how much we care about this program.
Okay, so we are inviting you right now to please take your phones out and donate by texting the words, "I am a Changemaker" to 44321. Or you can just scan the big QR code. I think there's one at your table and one on the screen. You can also find Healthy Birthday on Venmo. But if for those of you who prefer check or cash, use the little envelopes that are on your table. And then as you exit today, the teal gift wrap box you can see on the table on your way out, just slip those in there. Your gift allows us to spread the Counts the Kicks education as far and wide as possible to both expectant parents and health professionals. For instance, a $25 gift today will help us get those yellow brochures that Danny's mom saw in front of all the parents who need this information.
Your donations are critical, but your voice and your actions make a significant difference too. We challenge each of you to take the Count the Kicks brochure on your way out and hand them out to any suspecting parents in the next couple weeks. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. And we just encourage you guys to get this information to anybody that you know, the loved ones. We've seen how much it's impacted our lives, and so we know you can do the same thing. You are part of Count the Kicks method. Let's save more lives. So once again, thank you to the families up here, and thank you to all the Changemakers here. So another round of applause, please.
Are we ready?
All right, you too.
Okay.
All right. All right, come on. Dude, come on. Dude, this way. Come on. Right here, come on.
All right, thank you, Changemakers. It is time to find out who won the golden ticket. Get your chocolate bars out. I want to introduce you to Trisha Joseph, Vice President of Joseph Jewelers in West Des Moines and a longtime supporter of Count the Kicks. Trisha, this is our 4th golden giveaway, and this year it's especially delicious.
Thank you to everyone who participated in our 4th giveaway. All 120 bars were sold, and only one lucky winner will reveal a golden ticket worth $1,500 at Joseph's Jewelers. Please go ahead and unwrap your chocolates to see who the lucky winner is.
Stand up. Where are you at? Wave. Everyone can see you. No waving? Who's won? Woo! Congratulations. We just raised another $12,000 because of this dedication and the generosity of Joseph's Jewelers. So thank you, Trisha.
Thank you.
From Changemakers to Champions, it is now my honor to introduce you to more Iowans who are changing the game. These Iowans are all parents who raised a child who then became a champion. Eric?
The very same year Count the Kicks was created, Shawn Johnson catapulted onto the world stage, winning a gold medal and 3 silver medals at the Beijing Olympics. Homegrown in West Des Moines, Shawn is the only child of Teri and Doug Johnson, who have described Shawn as a ball of fire since birth. Shawn has been inducted into both the U.S. Gymnastics Hall of Fame and the International Gymnastics Hall of Fame. Today, she's raising 3 beautiful children in Nashville, Tennessee, with her husband, Andrew East, and her parents by her side. Jack Dreyer made his Major League Baseball debut with the Los Angeles Dodgers on March 19, 2025. It happened in Tokyo, Japan, against the Chicago Cubs. He earned his keep with the big league team with a 2.95 earned run average, 10 holds, and 4 saves in 67 appearances. Those stats include the World Series, in which he pitched 2 1/3 innings, allowing no runs. Jack and his 2 younger brothers were raised in Johnston by their parents, Courtney and Steve. He's a proud Johnston Dragon and played at the University of Iowa before signing with the Dodgers as an undrafted free agent in 2021. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts describes Jack as unflappable. Olympic speed skater Zach Stopplemoor is fresh off competing in the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan, Italy. Nicknamed the Silver Bullet by his family, he started skating in Des Moines at Skate South at the age of 6 and is a graduate of Valley High School. Zach's parents, Dawn and Tom, spent years learning what it means to support a driven child. Dawn says, quote, parenting an athlete taught me that my job was never to manage the outcome, but to learn when to cheer, when to stay quiet, when to trust him, and when to be there when he needed me. We didn't always get it right, but we just kept showing up. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Teri and Doug Johnson, Courtney Chabot Dreyer, Dawn Stopplemoor, and KCCI's Eric Hanson.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm excited to be here. My name is Eric, and I have been at KCCI long enough to see Count the Kicks start from the beginning. I remember doing stories on this organization when it was 5 moms with a message and a goal, and here we are today just celebrating how far things have gone. But like so many of you, I'm also a parent who spends their evening and weekends cheering on kids, hoping for great things someday, and just having some challenging days, but also having some awesome days. And I'm blessed to be here with 4 parents who've been through this, who've seen the highest of highs and some of those challenging days as well. These 4 parents have some awesome perspectives on what it's like to raise a change maker in our community. But also, they have a reason for being here, because this cause is personal for them. Dawn, you were just at the Winter Olympics with your son just a couple of months ago over in Italy, but his birth story wasn't perfect, was it?
No, it wasn't. I wasn't really familiar with Count the Kicks or the Changemakers until they reached out to me, but it is very near to me. Zach was I had problems during my pregnancy where I had low amniotic fluid, and so we were having to go in for special monitoring all the way along. And I just so happened to have a doctor's appointment the day that he was born that night, and it was a pretty traumatic birth, and very lucky that we were there that day. And I often wonder now, just in these last couple days of listening and learning everything that I've learned, if maybe we would have been able to avoid some of that real trauma that we had in that very rapid induced birth that we had to have, if I'd have known more at the time.
Yeah, Teri, in 2008, Shawn brought us so much joy at the Beijing Olympics, but you had some nervous moments when she was born too.
Yeah, watching these videos. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Watching these videos, I recognized a lot of the story. I had very early labor and went into the hospital and then was put on bed rest and et cetera, et cetera. Ended up having I thought, healthy delivery, although Shawn was delivered with an APGAR of 0. She spent 24 hours in an isolate in the NICU, but obviously she recovered and she had a lot of energy to put forth after that challenge. So,
and Courtney, you have had the experience and emotions of being there when your son goes out to the mound in the World Series for the Los Angeles Dodgers, but you've also had the emotions of being with some of the moms who founded this organization on some of their tough days. You really believe in this organization too.
I do. So I have close ties to 3 of the 5 founders. Carrie Bandy Moreland is a sorority sister of mine at the University of Northern Iowa, and I have several other 85 sisters here today supporting Carrie. And so I was with Carrie when she lost Grace and at the service and the internment, and we spent a lot of nights together crying on my front porch, talking on the phone, and okay, sorry. And then Janet Peterson was my resident assistant, my RA in my dorm my freshman year, so I've known both of them over 35 years. And then Kate, both Kate and Janet, they raised their kids in Johnston, and so all 3 of our children were in show choir together, and so yeah, it's just interesting that I happen to know 3 of the people who found each other and created
There are a lot of connections, and it makes it real and makes it personal. We're here to talk to all of you about raising the champions in your life. And Courtney, let's start with a little bit of background. How early did you know that baseball was Jack's thing?
So my husband identified Jack as being athletic and unusually athletic at 18 to 24 months. He has a knack for he's an ex-MLB baseball player as well, and he's a PE teacher, and he can watch a child for 30 seconds and tell you whether they're athletic or not. And it wasn't just parental pride, because we have 2 other boys, and their forte is not athletics, and Steve recognized that right away as well. So yeah, we knew early on. Every morning when I woke up the kids, I would ask them the same 3 questions until they were so old that they wouldn't let me wake them up anymore. But I always asked, did you have a good night's sleep? Did you have sweet dreams? And what did you dream about? And every day from the time Jack could speak until he kicked me out of his bedroom, it was balls. Every morning, balls. Balls, movement, that all brought him joy. And so his room was in the theme of all kinds of balls. So we knew early on that he had a passion and undying energy too.
Absolutely. Dawn, you also started with inline skating in your family, and then things went to the next level. Talk about that kind of decision when things really ratcheted up, because it starts just having fun, and then it goes to the next level.
Yeah, it really does. Like with Zach, he started inline skating. He played ice hockey before that, but we happened to have a coach who said, you know, you should put him in speed skating. We're like, all right, he's got a lot of energy. Why not? It's not a family sport for us. And we went international with him because they said that's how you're going to get good. You have to go international. So at 9 years old, we trekked across the country, and this one coach kept telling me, you know, it's like, I see something in your kid. I think he's going to be really good. And after about the 3rd time he said it, because I don't know anything about this sport or what's going on with it, I just know they're going around fast and going left, right? And I said, well, you know, what am I supposed to do as a parent to not mess it up? And I got some of the best advice that I could share with all of you to then that it carried us all the way through, and that was, don't make it be about the win. He's like, he's going to go through so many seasons and changes while he's developing in his sport. You can't make it be about the win. You never know what he and his coach are working on. And so if I could share that with you and you could take it as a takeaway, I'd say that's super important.
Doug, like so many kids, Shawn jumped in and had a lot of energy to burn as a kid. In those young gymnastics or dancing days, how did you kind of decide, okay, it's time to go all in, or we're going up a level here? That's got to be kind of a tough decision to make.
Yeah, I mean, we got her into dance when she was 3 years old, and it was dance and gymnastics, and she kept running over to gymnastics, and you know, and then as time went on, she got a little older. She was going to competitions, and she was winning. She was losing also, but we had lots of people say, "Oh, she's going to go to the Olympics," and we just, yeah, right. I mean,
I understand.
But yeah, she's had a lot of energy, and we just glad everything turned out right.
Yeah, absolutely. Courtney, we talk about these kids and having different challenges, but the balance is tough between preparing them and also protecting them from the real life challenges. As Jack started getting attention, how did you know kind of when to lean in and encourage him and when to just kind of lay low and kind of take a step back and let him be a kid?
So Steve was his coach from the time he started playing t-ball, which he didn't understand because it was a stagnant ball on a tee, and his dad had been pitching to him since he was 2. So he was the only kid in t-ball who didn't hit off the tee. But Steve coached him until he got into high school. Fortunately, Johnston High School had a statewide renowned coach, Michael Barta, and when Steve was no longer his coach, Michael Barta was his coach, and we stepped back. And then when he went to the University of Iowa, Rick Heller was his coach, and he had pitching coaches, and we knew it was time to step back and let him go. We had done all that we needed to do in terms of mechanics and making sure that he understood being a champion isn't about a win-loss record or an ERA. It's about the process. It's about dedication. It's about resilience. It's about patience, and not the end result.
Absolutely. Dawn, how about you? Traveling around the world takes a time and financial commitment, but they're kids. How do you balance that when they're kids, but they have these demands and there's challenges in the family to make this happen? How did you wrestle with that?
Well, early on, when Zach first started skating, I was also traveling a lot for work, so we had to have somebody come in and help us because our daughter was at home and my husband was working. But once we got to that point, fortunately for us, both Tom and I, like Tom stayed here and he did the domestic travel, right? And I was able to save my vacation time to do the international travel. But a big part of it in the balance was also figuring out how to make it not just be like Zach, but how to bring Allie into the mix as well. Both directions, to give her the opportunity to have her light, but also to have them both understand that they each had something different that wasn't competitive. And there was really no silver bullet. That's where my thing said, we just kept trying, and some days they were both really mad at us, but that's what we had to do. You just had to keep trying to keep it in perspective and follow their lead.
Doug, I'm sure being a world-class athlete is a challenge with all the spotlights on you. At the same time, were there times that Shawn just kind of needed to unplug and take a step away even from gymnastics? Because it's a big time commitment.
Yeah, she, there were days where she didn't want to go to the gym. And, we said, fine. There was one day where we told her to take a week off. And she did, and she ended up wanting to go back badly. But it's things like that that make them realize, whether they want it or not. And she had several of those, and we left it up to her, and she chose the right path, I guess.
And Teri, that has to be interesting because you're investing in them. You want the success at the same time. You want them to be on their own terms. Is that easy or tough for somebody when you get to that level? I mean, as a mom, what's that like?
I think the challenge was having an elite athlete that was a very young child. And so, you don't always want to be encouraging them to be a strong athlete. I can remember, just letting her be a child. She'd come home from gym and supposed to have a strict diet and all that, and I'd sit there and feed her ice cream and read a book to her and help her do her homework. And a lot of times we did her homework while she was in the bathtub because the schedule, was just really tight trying to get it all done in one day. But I mean, just letting her be a kid when she needed and wanted to, I think was really important.
There's finding time, and then Courtney, there's also the injuries. Jack has had injuries, including Tommy John surgery, which is not easy and not good for a pitcher. How do you help somebody like that through that? I mean, those are tough days, aren't they?
They are tough days, and it's not just a tough day, it's a tough 18 to 24-month recovery from it. And you don't know if it's successful. And we did our research. Fortunately, since Steve had played professionally, we called his agent when Jack was 14 or 15 years old, and he gave us great guidance. He was just a godsend in giving us guidance. But when we knew he needed Tommy John surgery, I called and said, who's the new Dr. James Andrews who did Tommy John surgery? And he gave me two names, and we drove across the country to Indianapolis and down to Arlington, Texas, and interviewed doctors and had them take a look, and we chose really well, and he's had a great outcome and added 2 or 3 miles per hour to his pitches, which is great.
Put some extra in their arm or something like that. Everybody wants to win, Dawn, but at a very early age. And the youngest T-baller, and the first things you realize, it's not all winning. How do you deal with that when you are in those young ages or growing up when he was frustrated? Because I'm guessing, yes, he got to the Olympics, but there were frustrating days too.
Yeah, part of it's understanding just the temperament of your kid. Like, what is it they need? Do they need you in their face? Do they need your hugs today? Do they need to just be left alone? Or is it a combination of any or all three of them? And a story I didn't think of last night, but it's a short one. What was kind of funny is one of Zach's coaches, when he played soccer, knew that he was always on the move, but he was always messing around a little bit. So he figured out really early on the way to actually help Zach be the best at what he was doing was when the kids got in trouble, they made him run laps. They made Zach sit and watch everybody else run laps.
Punishment.
Yeah, because he knew he wanted to be out there just tearing out that energy. So I think understanding and really trying to meet them where they are and knowing what's important to them, not maybe the way you would want it, but what works for them, I think is key.
Yeah, absolutely. Terry, gymnastics is so subjective. You're dealing with somebody judging. There's also umpires and there's stuff like that. How do you deal with the subjective part of that specific sport when you've got a little one who's just thought they did a great job or something like that?
I remember just stressing to Shawn that not to let a judge tell her whether she had a good routine or not. You know, she had done enough routines in her lifetime at that point. She knew when she had a good routine, and that, you know, not to be torn down or to be made to feel bad just because somebody subjectively had a different opinion, you know. And, you know, again, you see the little girls up on the podium. Anybody who makes podium, that's a huge deal. And if you get up there and, you know, you're crying, not happy because you didn't get first, you know, she didn't do that. But I always tried to point out to her, there's 20 sitting out there who didn't get that opportunity. Don't disrespect them. So, you know, you just always try and make it not be so huge.
And Courtney, sometimes that car ride home is a decompression time. Sometimes it's celebrating. How do you deal with the great or the tough situations that unfold on the ride home, some of those conversations?
So Jack had bad games in Little League and in high school and in college, and we always gave him the ride home to stew about it, to cry, to be upset. But when we pulled in the garage and turned off the car, that was it. We were focused on the next game, the next tournament, the next practice, and said, you need to move on, wipe the slate clean. You're not as good as your last outing. It's the persistence. So we made him get over it quickly, and I think that really helped him.
Makes him even keel for
Yeah.
those big moments. And
Yeah.
all four of you had those big moments where your kid is in the spotlight. Jack pitched in the World Series last year. He was in that marathon game, 18-inning game, where he comes in. You weren't able to be in Tokyo when he made his first pitches for Major League Baseball, but you were there in the stands when your boy comes out of the bullpen, comes out to the mound in the World Series. As a mom, what's that like?
Well, I'll speak for Steve since he's not here. As soon as he sees Jack warming up in the bullpen, he's like, great, get him in there. And I'm always like, don't put him in. Don't put him in. It's too stressful, I can't take it. So it is surreal to see your son being announced and all the lights are flashing and they're playing his walk-up song, and it's surreal, it's overwhelming. You have a great sense of pride. We always felt that Jack would be a professional baseball player, but there are men who play in the MLB for 15 or 20 years and never get a World Series ring. So for him, his first year, to make the team, and making the team is hard, staying up with the team is much more difficult. That is the challenge. That is winning. And for him to stay up and be with a winning team and experience that was just quite a thrill. So
he's doing it. Dawn, your big moment at the Olympics was just 10 weeks ago on Valentine's Day. You were in Italy. Your boy gets out there on the ice. What's that like for you? It's got to be nerve-wracking, exciting, all of that, right?
It was incredibly nerve-wracking and very surreal. It started with opening ceremonies. Just to sit there, because this is something Zach and I talked about our entire lives, like what it was going to be like when he got to represent the United States in a competition like the Olympics. Once he decided that's what he wanted to do, we just talked about what that really meant, and that was really important to him. And so when we got to see him all come out, I was just starting, like, I'm a pretty good hold my edge person, but I started to lose it a little bit. When we got to the arena and they called his name, one of the things that was so neat about it, and I think we all talked about this yesterday, is it didn't matter the outcome. Like, you don't go to the Olympics to play it safe and get 10th. You go to put it on the line. So to him, it didn't matter the outcome. It was how amazing the crowd was. and the people were, and then still coming back here now. Look at me, I'm doing it now. Coming back here now and just meeting with people, and there's like, I watched him in the Olympics, and the support in Iowa, because he had a pretty small community here, but it's huge now, and it's just incredible.
Doug, 2008, she's on the balance beam for the gold medal. You had to be perfectly calm, right?
Oh, I was. I was the pacer. I could never sit there and wait. I knew she was coming up, so I'd be out in the hall pacing up down. Teri's in there sitting. I'm sure she's not calm, but yeah, it was pretty much like that every competition she had, and then yes, when she was done with the beam, it was I was very relieved.
And then Teri, she walks out on top of the podium, gold medal around her neck, and the national anthem is playing. What's that like?
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. I'm kidding. Every time she displayed on any competition, actually, you just the pride and the love that you feel for your child is just incredible. I kind of let her down a little bit because what I was feeling at the end of the Olympics, when it was her biggest moment, was just relief that it was all over and that I would just get her back. So it was wonderful in every possible way, but my tears were just relief that she didn't have that heavy weight on her anymore, and that we could just move along.
Yeah, Courtney, we're talking about change. We're talking about change makers here, but we're doing more than just building winners. It's the fabric of raising a good kid too. Talk about getting plugged into the community and the lessons maybe off the field as well.
So when we were done with our family, we knew Nick was our youngest, and I know we're speaking about Jack today, but he has two younger brothers who are amazing in their own right, champions in their own right for different reasons, and so talented in their respective areas. And my goal when we became a family was to raise 3 good men. And I'm so proud of the husband Jack is, the teammate he is, the father he's become. Everything he does off the field gives me much more pride than what he does on television or on the ballpark. So, my advice would be model community service to your children. They don't listen to what we say, they see what we do, and they model that. So I was very involved with Greater Des Moines Habitat for Humanity for over a decade, and my kids came to board meetings, and my kids came to home dedications to see people get their keys to their first home. I took them to the homeless shelter to serve, and that was eye-opening to them, and they were very young when they were scooping food onto trays there. But it's so important that they become well-rounded, and the arts were really important to me. I was not a sport kid, so it was really important that all the kids explored their artistic side, and they were all hugely involved in music, vocal music at Johnston, including show choir. So.
And Teri, now you're on to the next chapter of being a grandma. Have you seen some of the lessons that you have passed on to Shawn kind of come full circle?
I have. Shawn reaches out to me pretty regularly. I see her almost every day. But if she's having a struggle with one of her kids, or if something's going on, how do I do it? What do I do? Or she has shown that she paid attention when she will use some of the things that I used on her, and now I get to witness her with her children using some of the same tactics. It's wonderful when you know that you've passed on something positive and you've done something right.
Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely have. Finally, Dawn, you talked about the fact that life has different chapters, and that's important. As we're sitting out here and kind of learning and understanding the cool chapters you've been, talk about that, the fact that whatever chapter you're in is a neat one, but how do you put that into perspective?
I think somebody asked me, like, what was something that I learned that I wish I would have known early on, and we all know that life is a story, right, that's continuous and ongoing, but I just learned recently, like with Zach making the Olympics, that I should also realize that it is chapters, and there's beginnings and endings, and there's transitions that can happen in places that you start and stop. And I think if we all thought about that a little bit more, that there's chapters inside of our story, you'd give yourself a little grace or a little forgiveness, or you'd give your kid a little grace or forgiveness because you might need to have some transition, and you take the time to celebrate, which is really what I did selfishly when it came Olympic time. I just told everybody, you know, you're just gonna have to figure your own way out, because I wanna be in this chapter and take it for everything that it's worth. And so I wish I would have known that, and I would have been able to think of things more like chapters, because I probably missed some really key things during the time my kids were growing up, because I was always in the race.
That said, you four have raised champions, you've raised change makers, and we are grateful for you sharing your stories today. Thank you so much for being here, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Teri and Doug and Dawn and Eric, thank you guys so much for your time. We are so grateful for the insights into your really, really fascinating lives celebrating Iowa Changemakers. And we want to thank all of you so much for being here with us today. We are just so grateful for your time and for just the fact that you propelled our mission forward today.
Our panel from Olympians to a World Series star was a great reminder of how big things and great ideas come from right here in Iowa. I mean, the University of Iowa, oh, sorry, is that still me?
Yeah, you're good.
Was the first state university to accept women. I think many of us here are glad about that. Iowans invented the trampoline and the vending machine.
Yeah, great things start in Iowa, including our 5 founders who had the courage to create Count the Kicks. So just big things happening here and you helping make big things happen. Who is excited to learn who won the Montana Cabin?
Drum roll. We raised $6,700 on this raffle. And so far in this event, we've raised $37,000. So thanks, everybody. But the winner is Lena Bruner. Is that from over here?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
She's at my table, but I swear I had nothing to do with it. Nothing.
Do you want her to go to the back?
Yep, that's perfect. They'll get it to you. Yes.
Congratulations, Lena.
As a quick friendly reminder, the mobile auction is till 9 o'clock tonight, so we would love for you to check out the mobile auction if you haven't yet, and you may get text alerts if you are outbid until 9 o'clock tonight. Finally, a massive thank you to our events manager, Megan Kuntz, and our amazing volunteer committee of Amy Romanen, Christina Gaiman, Gina Kramer. Gina Kramer has been doing this with us for 12 years, by the way, so extremely grateful to her. Thank you to Marquis for orchestrating all of the tech and AV, ITA Group, Global Atlantic, and Iowa Total Care for helping volunteer for our event. And finally, thank you to our presenting sponsor, University of Iowa Healthcare. We are so grateful for you and the support and the lives that you helped save today. Every single person in this room is a change maker. And we say thank you, and we hope to see you next year.